Hey guys, it's Spacey Sims, and we are back with more Mistonia's Hope. Sorry, my tablet popped up with the, like, it just had a little pop-up to, it keeps trying to get me onto Windows 11. No, don't do that. And, like, right as I'm starting, of course, recording. Whatever. Anyway, Mistonia's Hope. We're continuing Edward's route. We got our happy ending last time. We're going to start our bad endings. It's been a couple days since I played. Cause I'm trying to, like, my mom's coming the weekend that as I'm recording this. Like, it was a couple of weeks ago as you're watching this, but my mom's coming, so I need to, like, clean my house and do stuff and, like, prepare my Sim stuff and whatever. So, like, this stuff got pushed off. But I'm like, you know what? I got some time today, so we're gonna record, because I can't not record for, like, a fucking week. You know. I'm like ahead now. I'm like, yeah! And then I'll be like really behind if I don't get a couple of things at least recorded this week. Anyway, like we can at least finish Edward's route, and then it'll be another few days. It'll be like a big ass gap for me between recording the end of this and Ascot's route. But anyway, so I loaded up our save file 1. We're going to start with our astray ending, not their ashtray ending. Never going to let myself live that down. So anyway, we say, I can climb trees. Okay. It's not that remarkable. I just happen to have better reflexes than most people. Oh, okay, red is up there. Okay. Would he be convinced if I was more specific? Wait, then again, I can always bring up something Edward already knows about. For instance, I'm able to climb trees. I thought I'd gotten my point across, but Linus gave me a thoughtful look and came closer for some reason. Climbing trees, huh? So what else are you good at? Are you a fast runner, maybe? Oh, is the astray ending gonna be where, like, Linus is like, I know who you are? Isn't he a little too close for comfort? And why is he looking at me like that? Because he remembers us being the girl climbing trees and chasing him and stuff, remember? Did I say something wrong? Linus didn't simply approach me, but leaned in and stared at my face, startling me. When I tried backing away, he closed the gap. I've wondered this for a while, but you're... Ow! You want me to pet you and then you bite! You're a jackass! I'm gonna throw you the fuck downstairs! You're a nasty bird, I'm not petting you, you fuck off. Linus was about to say something. His tone unusually, don't you come near me. He's so fucking cute, but I'm so fucking mad at him right now. I don't like you right now. I don't want to snug with you. I don't want to pet you. I don't give a shit. You're mean. You want me to pet you, and you didn't even nip. That hurt. That hurt because our fingernail broke down very far because you ever slice your fingernail when you're shaving? And then, like, but I cut through, I was really hard, and I was like, normally you just, like, nick your nail. But this, I, like, good, and I was, like, sitting there the other day, and I was like, what was last night? I was like, oh, God, like, I actually, like, cut almost all the way through my nail. Like, so, like, I kind of broke it off, but it's, like, really, like, my nails are never very long. I always break my nails off. I sit there and I pick at my nails. But this is so fucking far down, there's not even any little bit of the white left. And it's like, it's not so bad where it's like, oh my God, I ripped skin or it's bleeding, but it's like right at that point where it's like a little bit up and it would have been. So it's like very like, it's not super sensitive, but it is for bird bites. Jesus. You know? And if you like poke at it, you're like, yeah, if you poke at it with like your nail, you're like, oh yeah, no, it's a little, oh. So like you biting it was not nice. That hurt. That hurt. My poor finger. I can't point now. Oh, you broke my finger off. He's jammed under my chin now. Anyway. Linus was about to say something, his tone unusually serious, when footsteps rang out in the entrance hall. He was going to find out who we are. Lynn, what are you doing here? I thought I told you we'd talk later. Why are you trying to leave? Linus distanced himself from me as soon as Edward made his appearance. Don't make that scary face. I was just talking to her, that's all. I wasn't going anywhere. Just wanted to take a moment outside for some fresh air before talking to you, Ed. Okay. Oh, and now we're gonna dance with him. Oh, and then I feel like I'm soaring. No, I'm not. It feels like I'm soaring through the sky. I'm soaring higher than when Riley lifted me. It's so much fun. I'm glad. It's like I'm seeing the real you once more. Huh? I didn't realize my tone had become a little more relaxed until Edward pointed it out. Did I really just say Riley? I was afraid my true identity might be exposed, but Edward didn't react at all. And we got nothing for that one. So that's interesting. You got like, you know what I mean? Like the other one, you get the moon thing, which is like I guess you're losing points or you're getting points for someone else. You know what I mean? As opposed to like their little wing ones. But that one you got nothing. That one was like nothing. Not good, not bad, I guess. Um, and then we're just gonna okay, now we're going after this is where we're gonna fight the queen. Okay. And then Ascot's going to disappear and never be seen or heard from again until we go down his route, which is getting more and more intriguing. Now we're the Astray. After Oberon and the Queen disappeared, no one spoke for quite some time, which is different because after we went to chapter 4 and we were dealing with Edmund, and then we got our ending while we were fighting Edmund, and now this is like usurping that and being like, you don't even get to go off and go after him or anything, so... It looked like the silence would drag on, but then Edward suddenly spoke. Your hair. I got the hint as soon as I caught him looking at me and scrambled to check my hair. Oh no, my disguise is blown. When did he find out who we were in the original ending? Huh. Oberon had told me the contract had ended. I suppose he'd really meant it. Is this your original form, perhaps? Yes, Oberon helped disguise me so that I'd look like an ordinary person. As opposed to her looking like you what? Because when you're blonde, you're not ordinary, you're extraordinary? What the fuck is that? I would look like an ordinary person as opposed to like now just being blonde haired and blue eyed, and I'm just like super fucking amazing because nobody on the planet has blonde hair and blue eyed unless you're magical or some shit. Like I know that's not what they meant, but what the fuck? My true form had already been exposed, so there was no point in pretending otherwise. Hence, I just nodded. I mean, I get what she's trying to say. Like, you're trying to make me, like, try to look like someone else, or not make me look like myself, or what, or disguise myself to blend in better. Although, again, do you every single time you see someone blonde, you're like, oh my god, they stand out? No, it's just another fucking person. But I get in the context for her looks would stand out amongst the 5 houses. You know what I mean? Like, you can't sneak in and stab the people who killed your family if you look like your mother and they're going to recognize you. You know what I mean? So I get that. But it's like, it's just the phrasing and the way they like wrote that. It's like, that just makes her sound like an asshole. Like, what the fuck? Anyway, Edward stared at me as though we were meeting for the first time. Well, yeah, because he already knows who we are. Well, did it happen here? Because then, like, we went to go. Oh, no, he knew who we were, right? Did we reveal ourselves when we went to go kill his dad, when we went to go kill Edmund, and then Nicholas stabbed us, and then he was like, so this is what you really look like? And you're like, oh shit. Like, was it then? I can't remember. I mean, obviously it wasn't in this part, but. So you were using the Fey King's power. I can see your Fey blood clearly now. Okay, so that's different then. If it's like an ordinary person, I wanted to disguise me so that I don't look like I have Fey blood. But then what's defining what makes them look like they have Fey blood aside from wings that you can't see right now? You know what I mean? So that's interesting. That's like, well, like, okay, so I get that then. They're like, oh, okay, I have to look like an ordinary person because people with Fey blood look different somehow. But how? You never described that. You never told us. That's like a plot hole you never even brought up. And now all of a sudden it's like it's a thing, which doesn't make sense, you know? Anyway. Edward paused abruptly, narrowing his eyes as if lost in thought. Okay, there is a bird feather, like a tiny little bird Fluffy floating around, and my eyes keep see because it keeps like going away from the TV and then toward the TV, and then my eyes keep like going, what is that? Moving toward it every time it floats into like anywhere in my local peripheral vision. Not like super off to the side, but you know what I mean. But like, it's really annoying. And my leg wasn't long enough. I kicked it. I don't know where it went. It's probably stuck on my foot now. It was very tiny Fluffy, but you can just notice it. I can't focus lately, guys, so you'll note. I mean, not that I ever can, but like it's so bad lately. I like sat down to read last night. I'm like, I'm gonna sit down and read. I'm like two or three lines in. I was like, oh wait, I want to go do this. Oh wait, I forgot to look up this. Oh, I need to add these books onto my Goodreads TBR list to make sure. And I'm like, and it took me like 30 minutes to like sit down and like fucking focus. And I feel like that's the way I am right now. Like I can't just sit here and read. I don't know. My brain is like on crack right now. It's driving me bonkers. Anyway, Edward paused abruptly, narrowing his eyes as if lost in thought. We're going to struggle to do this. There's something about your appearance that feels nostalgic. Since you're a Randolph, it wouldn't be odd if we've met before. Are you gonna... He's already aware of who I really am, but if seeing me like this made him recall something, then... We never had a realization that we might have met before. I mean, it makes sense that we would have. I looked around, feeling uneasy, and instantly met Linus's gaze. You really are spacey. He seemed to murmur something under his breath, but I couldn't hear it clearly. It wasn't just Linus either. Alfred and Lucas also stared at me, their looks meaningful. Having witnessed my true form and my interaction with Oberon, they must have realized not only who I am, but also what I'm after. What would they do to a Randolph? Edward and Lucas tried to help me escape the Queen, but I was left in a daze with the Queen having been unexpectedly taken away by the King. I didn't know what to do next. When I glanced around again, I noticed something. Where's Ascot? Oh, now that you mention it, we're like, everyone's staring at you, and you're like, hey, where's Ascot? Don't look at me like you're going to gang up on me. Distract them and run. He's not here. I don't see him anywhere. How did he manage to hide himself from me? How did he? Damn it! How in the world did he do it? I like that they keep adding more mystery. Like, Ascot disappeared, and they're like, what the fuck did he go? And he's never seen or heard from again. And now it's like, how did he get away from Linus? Interesting! I don't think he outsmarted Kusith's senses. He just used our confusion and disarray to his advantage. You're probably feeling the changes more than any of us, right, Linus? Yeah, I'd be lying if I said I'm not shaken. Actually, it's a lot more than just that. It feels like a part of me is gone. The crushing despair. So overwhelming, I almost feel sick. But I'm not the only one who feels this way, am I? The rest of them are like, no, we're cool. No, I can feel it to a maddening extent. Even now it's slowly gnawing at me against my will. This is troublesome. I too experienced a strange sensation Linus and Lucas mentioned. I hate the Queen with my whole being, but another part of me is saying something different. Stop. There are feelings I can't quite place. Something between love and loneliness. I already can't focus. I don't need you shoving yourself in my face and like biting my headset and just distracting me and being more annoying than usual. Simmer down. If this is the consequence of the Queen leaving Grand Albion, as much as I'm concerned about Ascot's whereabouts, we can't stay here forever. Her Majesty's absence will soon be apparent. It was almost as if Edward had read my mind. Anyone with fey blood will have noticed that something happened to the Queen, at the very least. However, we cannot tell the citizens what exactly happened. The shock would be too much for them to handle. Alfred scanned the room, then spoke, echoing Edward's sentiment. Framing it as the Queen's death would be for the best, but that won't quell all the worries. Without the Queen here, we have to step up. Grand Albion needs leadership. We should announce that the 5 houses will work to restore the nation in order to avoid a panic spreading among the people. You're surprisingly calm. Like, you're way too prepared. Was the Queen's absence something you had expected? Linus's tone verged on sarcastic. Edward quickly intervened. He didn't predict this. That's evident from the way we all reacted. Our duty as the Five Houses is to be fully prepared to support Her Majesty and the nation. Wouldn't you agree with that, Linus? Or would you agree with that? I guess, yeah. I can't deny that it's the duty of the Five Houses. I like how Linus is like, you're kind of sus. And Edward's like, no, he's fine. Don't worry about it. Like, does it matter? Does it matter? Does it matter if we were all plotting to overthrow the Queen? We overthrew the Queen. Doesn't matter. She's gone now. You ain't got nothing to defend, Linus. Shut up. Suck it up, Buttercup. But if we declare that we rebuild the nation right after Her Majesty's death, there will undoubtedly be a resistance. Like from me, for instance. Us wards, we were the heads of the royalists. We won't stay silent. Interesting. Linus is gonna... Because he kind of like... I wouldn't say went along with it, but I don't think they made it sound like he was like really, really like... fuck you with everybody. You know what I mean? Like he was working with everybody. Maybe begrudgingly, but... I understand that. That's why I'm asking you to step up and keep them in check, Linus. Hey, is this really the time to be having this relaxed of a conversation? We should focus on deciding what to do about her rather than worrying about explaining Her Majesty's absence to the people. Lucas suddenly turned the conversation to me. Hey, I was doing fine over here being ignored, Lucas. Jesus. Once again, everyone looked my way. What should I do? Should I say something? Where's Ascot? Gee, golly. Think I got away with that again? A soldier burst into the throne room as my thoughts raced. Lady! The soldier, or someone who looked like one at least, rushed into the throne room and promptly removed his hat and jacket. I'm glad you're safe. It was John. I could tell by his voice. John didn't seem to notice anyone else and rushed straight toward me. However, I flinched the moment he reached for me without really meaning to. It was as though I was rejecting him outright. Interesting. Sorry, milady. What are you sorry for? I wanted to ask him, but I didn't want to get into an argument with him here. If you're here to pick her up, then I suppose it's best to leave her in your hands. Since this is an emergency, I'm not going to ask how you slipped into the palace. Thanks. I won't press you about your identity for now, but I need to know something. Have you secured an escape route? Forget about getting through the front. I don't know what tricks you've pulled, but you've come this far. You should know better. Yeah, there are way too many soldiers for normal palace security. There was shouting, too. Chances are they picked up on what happened here. John took a quick look around the throne room. His expression shifted. He knew exactly what had happened. No one asked how he grasped so much so quickly. Not a single person broke the silence, even if they were all wondering the same question. As they heard what was going on inside the palace, they instead realized their fears had come true and exchanged glances. Linus slowly raised his hand, the air tense. This would usually warrant execution, but the situation's too urgent to stay silent. There's a secret passage at the back of this room for the Queen's use only. It's strictly confidential, of course. Now that I know who she is, I think she's earned the right to know. I'll take you there. I raised an eyebrow. Is it because I'm a Randolph, part of the Five Houses? Or is it because Ainsley's blood flows in me? Part of me wanted to dig deeper. Everyone was trying to help me escape at the moment, and that was what truly mattered. I should have taken comfort in it, but I couldn't. This way! Hurry! I hurried to the corner of the room at Linus's urging, and it wasn't just John who followed. Edward did too. The hole in the wall led to a dark passage that seemed to mirror our current situation. It was shrouded in uncertainty with no clear end. Edward quickly jotted something in his notebook, tore out the page, and passed it to me as he stepped close to explain. I'll come for you when everything settles down. And just wait for me in this room, all right? Al and I set this place up. You can't go back to the mansion looking like that, can you? You have a point. I touched my hair, feeling uneasy, and nodded. Edward offered a gentle smile, trying to reassure me. We've got everything you'll need for your daily life there, so you can relax. You're free to leave if you want, but I'd suggest lying low for a while, given the circumstances. Got it. I'll stay out of the way as much as I can until you come back. I nodded in agreement, and Edward let out a relieved sigh. I'd really appreciate that. I'll come by as soon as I can. The country's going to drastically change. When that happens, I hope you'll see my sincerity. Unwavering eyes met mine. They were still as clear as ever, never losing the essence of who he was. But I still can't make sense of my emotions. Now, are the astray endings the ones where we basically stab them? You know what I mean? No, those are the clown ends. Okay, there's two. There's the clown and the astray ending. It's just, you know what's funny? The astray ending is usually done. We usually do that one second. Oh, interesting. But his save file one, I just went with save file one, and that's the astray ending. Well, okay. Lucas, I think we did them differently. What was Alfred's? I thought we did the clown ending first. But then again, maybe it's just because that's the one that sticks in my head. Yeah, we did the clown ending, then the astray ending. Huh. It's interesting that this one's backwards. I'm checking them because again, my brain can't focus. No, I was trying to think as I was doing this one. I'm like, is this the one where we get all stabby? Because I was like, and then I just had to look because I couldn't remember the name of the other ending. But what did we do? Yeah, that's interesting. The clown endings are usually the tragic endings. And there we usually do those first. I suppose I could have just looked at his and seen this is just bad ending. Well, that's interesting. Okay, so everybody else, every other one in the guide, the first save file is generally the clown ending. And Atomic Kitten always puts tragic end. Okay, well, I just noticed that on Linus's anyway. But you make sense because that's kind of fucked up for a bad ending. And then save file, the second save file is usually the astray ending, and that's just a bad end. And this one, it's reversed. So we're doing the astray ending, which is usually the second one we do. And she just labeled both of them as bad. So clown ending should be really motherfucking bad because that's usually where we get revenge and we kill people and we fuck shit up. Okay, well, I mean, I kind of wish I had thought of that first before recording because I would have recorded the clown ending first just because that one's usually the more fucked up one. And that one, oh god, this one's bad. And then this one's a little bit lighter for bad endings. And now we're going to go with that fucked up one. But that's okay because we still have to read like the little short stories afterwards. So can you stop that? Can you stop that? You're being a pain in my ass. Anyway, can't make sense of my emotions. Got it. A single thing kept forcing its way into my head. If the queen was going to vanish, I should have been the one who delivered the final blow. I glanced at John, who shook my head. Oh, and shook my... Okay. I glanced at John and shook my head once, as if trying to push away my unresolved feelings. Then we ran down the secret passage and escaped the palace. John, can I have a moment? Sure. I settled into the room Edward had set up for me and confirmed where all the necessities were before calling out to John. John looked down, his expression serious. It was as if he were awaiting the judgment on a death sentence. I know, it's just you were cuddling under my neck, and then you decided you needed to sit there and put your face against my chin, and I hate when you do that when I'm trying to read. If I'm just sitting like, it's that because then my chin is moving and it's rubbing against his feathers and it's a weird overstimulating sensation. And it's not that he's not soft, but it's like, it's just something about it I don't like. It's just too much. It's like, no, I don't want to rub my face against you. Sometimes I do. He's like, you'd like to. I know sometimes I do, but I rub my cheek against you. But I don't want my chin rubbing against you. There's something about my chin brushing against his feathers that's just... Again, he's soft, but it's just it's just constantly rubbing. It's just stop it, stop. You know what I mean? Like, it's just, I hate it. It just tweaks me out. And I'm like, no, I don't want to do it. Like, overstimulating or something. I don't know what it is. I know. You're soft and fluffy and I love you. Do you have to go potties? Jesus fucking Christ, Bird. It's only been 25 fucking minutes. Oh my God. Oh, also my head hurts all of a sudden. Hold on. But like, I don't know what it is, but you're very annoying today. I love you, but you're very annoying. Thank you. Good boy. I know. I know, buddy. It's not your fault. You would just exist. And for some reason, you existing today is bugging me. That's not like that, though. Not like that, though. I hope you always exist. I don't want you to not exist anymore, but like, you're just. I don't know. I can't focus. I just fidgety and irritable, I guess. I don't know. I don't know. I love you, though. I do. But I need you to settle the fuck down. You're normally like very calm, but you're very fidgety today, too. What the fuck is in the air? Anyway, John looked down, his expression serious. It was as if he were awaiting the judgment on a death sentence. Well, that's the other ending. I know what you're about to say. I was the one who called Oberon there. We thought that in the other ending. He spoke firmly when he turned to face me, his face full of determination. Then explain. Why would you do that? I had a good idea of what the answer would be, but I asked anyway, hoping to hear it directly from John. I wanted you to give up on your revenge. I was worried about you. Even in her weakened state, the Queen's the strongest pure fae in existence. If you fought her, you'd have been injured or worse. I just didn't want you to get hurt. John's response made me recall the conversation from earlier. You know, there was like 4 other people there. Okay, well, Linus wouldn't have helped us kill the Queen, but. So, yeah. So, I'll do what I can to be of help to you, milady. Wait, what exactly are you planning? So that's what he meant. I should have realized that, considering John's personality, but I honestly never expected him to do something that would feel like a betrayal. You didn't want me to get hurt, so you told Oberon to take the Queen away before I made my move. Is that right? Yes, that's it. His answer made me sad, but at the same time, I couldn't help but wonder. The thing is like, I mean, in this one, obviously she's going to be mad at John for this, but Oberon always pops in and takes the Queen away, so. How could John have known that Oberon wouldn't actually kill the Queen? I always believed that Oberon's only goal was to get back the wing the Queen took from him. Again, because John, they're a little closer than we'd like to think, but. Plus, again, remember, what was it? It was in Edward's Good End Summer. It was like, there was nobody named John that lived in that village. And it was like, what? And we just kind of left that floating out there. You know? Oh, was it Nicholas that said that? There was no John that lived there. Yeah. But she is kind of. But. I mean, I'm trying to think it through because, like, I do think, like, we're supposedly the Queen's vessel. Well, why wouldn't Oberon have one? And Oberon and John look way too alike for it not to be. You know what I mean? You're really going to tell me that ain't the case, or there's not something else going on with that? Like, 2 random people that met and have no idea. But we ran out into the little bluebell field or whatever, and then John was there and called Oberon, whatever, and, like, he's definitely got ties to Oberon. And then we're like, yeah, John was always in the village. He was kind of friends with Riley and then blah, blah. But it's like, but was he really? Because now Nicholas is like, there was nobody like you in that village. Uh-huh. So what are you hiding from us? You know what I mean? Are you really my brother? Are you really Riley and you escaped? But then that would be weird because Nicholas murdered him, so. But Riley was really Oberon's vessel, and that's how he survived, and now he's John, and we're going to get to bone our brother. That would be some fucked up shit. Like, listen, there would be some effort involved for them to figure that shit, to put that plot line in here. But I mean, Riley was really obsessed with his little sister, so I'm just saying, if they did that, if they made some kind of like Riley actually survived and is John, but is also was really a vessel of Oberon, and that's how he survived and whatever, and now he's like, what? Then I mean, they toned down his like being obsessed. Like John does everything he can to protect us, but as soon as we're in love with someone else, he's like, "All right," you know what I mean? But like, and Riley never would have. No, no, they toned him the fuck down. If that's the case, I'm just trying to. I got a logical way to date my brother. Listen, that's about as taboo as we get in these, so we just gotta take what we could get. But like, knowing that John really wasn't somebody in the village, and like we think that he was like Riley's friend, and we knew him as a, but we really didn't. Or maybe we did, but because we knew he was like an actual like full Fae that lived in the, you know what I mean? Like there's something, and we're kind of, some of that memory is a little blocked or something. You know what I mean? So, but it's interesting. You could be Oberon's brother. I don't know. So whatever. Anyway. Oh wait, did I read that? I don't know. I thought my contract with Oberon would be fulfilled if I killed the queen and gave back his wing. When I looked at John, all I saw were care and worry on his face. John sometimes treats me like a child. He takes such good care of me that I occasionally wonder if it's all a bit too much. So he thought he could make me stop seeking revenge if he got the one I hate taken away. That seems kind of plausible, right? Look at his sad little face. How could you be mad at him? But how did he know exactly what would happen? What if I find out John's keeping an even bigger secret from me? Which obviously he is. That's why his route's at the end. You know what I mean? Before the truth. But like, oh my God, we are coming down to it. Like, what if I find out he's, yes, he is. Oh, and imagine. Okay, this is going to be fun because the shit that's going to come out in Ascot's route, we're going to be like, remember in Edward's route when Ascot just disappeared? This is why he disappeared, right? Or there's going to be something, because obviously Ascot's got secrets for John's route, and that's why Atome Kitten recommended switching him and Edward. So then we're going to go, and there's going to be shit coming out about John, and we're going to be like, remember in that ending where she's like, what if he's hiding shit? Hell yeah, he is. I mean, we already knew. You already knew he's hiding some kind of bigger secret, but now she's locked in, and it's like, yes, he is, and I can't wait to find out what it is. I felt like I couldn't trust anything anymore. Hence, I held back and didn't ask the question. I know you're worried about me. I really do. But listen, John, getting hurt means nothing to me if it means achieving my goals. I've been prepared to die from the start. I let my sadness speak for me, finally revealing the torment I'd kept hidden. John shook his head desperately, reached out and grabbed my shoulders. I honestly believe that if revenge was the only thing keeping you alive, then maybe it wasn't the wrong path after all. I couldn't just let you throw your life away in the end. I want you to live, milady. So please, don't say things like that. Even if he was hiding something from me, I knew his feelings for me were real. I could feel it in the way he held my shoulders. Are we going to get an Edward and John thruple thing? Because I was really expecting it to be Linus and Edward. Even so, I placed my hand over his and gently eased his hand off of me. You've been with me all this time, so you must understand. I've endured things far worse than just getting physically hurt. 8 years ago, my heart was shattered beyond fixing. No, it actually died. My revenge on the Queen really is the only thing keeping me alive. If that were taken away from me, half done, I don't know what I'd do. I'd be so lost. I wouldn't even understand what it meant to be alive anymore. Oh, lady, did I do something I shouldn't have? John muttered in despair. I could only shake my head weakly. I don't want to condemn you with such harsh words, so I'm only saying them speculatively. And I know that what you did was because you care for me, but still. I trailed off, turning away from him. Can I be alone for a while? I need some time to think about what to do next. Though he heard me, he remained still for a long moment, until. Fine. He sighed resignedly as he watched me avoid his gaze. Then he muttered a single word and turned toward the door. I'll be at Goneril's place like usual. If you need anything, don't hesitate to come see me. Or don't hesitate to come to me, sorry. Okay, thanks. Upon my response, John opened the door without a word and stepped out. This feels like we just broke up with our boyfriend and we're, like, in love with Edward. But it's also very, I mean, like, these are the endings where it's like, she doesn't go, you know what? Getting revenge seems like it should feel really great, but being in love with Edward is just greater. Now she's like, I have nothing. I mean, I have Edward, but like, whatever. Fuck that guy. Like, you know what I mean? Like, she's like unwilling to budge. She's being extremely stubborn. I felt as though an invisible gap had formed between John and me as the door clicked shut. And it's also interesting that we're like shoving John away. Perhaps I wasn't the only one who sensed it. Because, like, you know what I mean? Like, it's not even his ending, but we're like shoving him away like we shove our love interests away. A few days passed. Edward had promised to prove his sincerity, but he never came. I simply waited, growing more and more impatient by the day. I need to know what's happening, at the very least. I won't find out anything if I stay cooped up in this room. Edward had told me going outside was fine, so I gathered my courage and stepped out. It's going to be interesting. I went into the city, grabbed a newspaper, and found that the preparations for the Queen's funeral were already in progress. So they've officially declared her death to the people, and the 5 houses really are taking over to restore the country. Well, 4, because nobody knows where Ascot is. Something caught my eye as I moved to the side of the road, absorbed in the article. The Queen was stealing power from the Mingles? What a horrifying thing to do! That's nearly as vile as the Wing Hunts! The article claimed that the Twilight Ravens had exposed this. They were now regarded as heroes. Oh. Sorry, I had to sneeze and it came on really fast. It was like, ah! And then it took forever to sneeze. Between the newspaper and the conversations of passers-by, I realized that the country was in the midst of chaos. The royalists are stirring up opposition, like Linus said. That means Edward may not be coming anytime soon. And it's like, Linus, the Queen's gone. Shut your mouth. Like, what do you know what I mean? Like, there's nothing you could do. You can't bring her back. Just when I felt that waiting was meaningless, a carriage sped past me. Seeing the familiar Bernstein crest, I instinctively checked to see who was inside, and it's going to be Edmund. Ah, and Edward. This time, Edward and Edmund? Why are they together? The carriage quickly disappeared into the distance. I remained frozen in place, still gripping the newspaper tightly. They were supposed to be at odds with each other. Edward knows that Edmund's probably the one I'm seeking revenge on. It felt like I had witnessed something unbelievable, but then I suddenly remembered my conversation with him. My lord, you love him, don't you? Your father? Well, yes, I do love him. She's gonna be like, I'm gonna have to kill Edward. And it's like, did you ever think that maybe he's like biding his time? So did he choose his father over me in the end? No, maybe he's trying to like figure out a way to bridge the gap here and choose you both. Like normal people would do. Like, it's not always A or B. Sometimes it's an A and B. You know what I mean? Like, girl, come on, think logically. Like, especially in a political gamble like this, where, like, the country's in chaos and your father, you know, is on the opposing side to you, it's kind of like working together because if you're like, in your face, fuck nugget, then, like, he's gonna stir up shit and then and then it's like, it's gonna be more drama that the country does not fucking need. Sometimes we need people like Edward who are like, let's not just cause more drama because we're whiny little fucking bitches, Dad. Jesus. You know what I mean? But, like, And some people are all about themselves. Even like Linus. Oh, the royalists. The queen is gone. This is not we're fighting and being like, fuck the queen and the queen's still around. She is gone now. There is nothing for you to fight for at this point. Why are you still fighting for this? Why are you still like, no, we need the queen? You going to go to Tirnanog and drag her ass back? You go for it. But you can't. Okay? And as far as everyone in the country is concerned, she's dead. So you should she's gone. So why are you still fighting for a dead bitch? You know what I mean? Like, it's a little fucking weird. I mean, I'm sure there's more to it, and it's more like, well, no, we need to find another Fey queen to rule over us. We can't do this diplomatically. What? No! We have to have a monarch! And it's like, change is sometimes scary. I get it. I don't like a lot of change either, you know? Change is really fucking terrible. 2026 is like, can we stop? Unless you're going to change for the better, but you just keep getting worse, motherfucker. What the hell? God! You know? So, you know, anyway. But, like, he could be trying to, like, keep the fire tampered down instead of, like, blazing everything up, you know? He's like, everything's already on fire. Let me just try to keep it to a minimum. But then she's like, he chose his father over me. And it's like, girl, simmer down. Although, I mean, that's the whole point of the bad endings, is her being completely fucking irrational. So I bit my lip hard. And then I don't know who's saying, hey, what are you doing here? Someone tapped my shoulder out of nowhere, and I turned around without thinking. Didn't I tell you not to draw too much attention to yourself? Linus's bright eyes met mine. His smile slightly awkward. My guess was kind of a thinking Linus. I was like, it's either John or Linus, but he did. But he also said I could go out. It makes sense that it's Linus. Linus shook off his surprise and blinked, as if trying to recall what had been said. Oh, right. I guess that's true. So, did you come to the city for a change of pace? Yes, I did. You look less happy than I thought you'd be. Linus glanced between my face, the newspaper I held, and back again. A thoughtful expression played on his face, and he's the wrong person to ask, because he's going to be like, oh, you were the girl I always had a crush on, and I'm going to tell you that Edward and Edmund are buddies, and then you're going to get mad, and then I can worm my way into your heart. I'm just saying, I wouldn't trust Linus. Oh, right. I know just the place if you're looking to clear your head. Want me to take you? But aren't you busy, Lord Linus? The unexpected offer caught me totally off guard. Linus simply gave me a warm, inviting smile. Yep, I'm swamped. So, you know, I could use a little change of pace myself. Will you come with me? All right. I don't know if I trust him right now. I knew I was following his lead, but I couldn't deny that I wanted someone to talk to after spending the last few days alone. And knowing him, he'd probably understand things on a deeper level than what the newspaper said. I quietly followed Linus, the image of Edmund and Edward still in my mind. I don't know if I trust Linus in this ending. I'm just saying. Not that I dislike Linus, but like, I don't know if I trust him in this end. Linus took me to the front of a pub. He left me standing on the street while he went in to get something, then came back almost immediately with 2 mugs in hand. So we're having a repeat of the getting drunk moment. Okay, got it. Here, this one's for you. You don't seem like a big drinker, so I got you some soda. He handed me the soda and took a big gulp of his beer, clearly enjoying it more than I was enjoying my own drink. A beer during a work break really is the best. You really shouldn't be drinking on the job, buddy, but is it really all right for you to be drinking if you're technically working right now? Although, sometimes you need a little whiskey in your, like, morning coffee just to get your motivation up so you give any amount of fucks. I don't put whiskey in my coffee, but you know what? It probably wouldn't be a bad idea. And then I just take a nap. And to be fair, I could take a nap right now and I didn't even need to drink, so. I couldn't resist pointing that out. Linus scratched his cheek, a little embarrassed. Well, no, it's not exactly the right thing to do. So could you keep quiet about me slacking off? I don't mind, but I'm not in a position to be meeting anyone right now. Who exactly would I be keeping this a secret from? My answer was completely logical. After a slight pause, Linus replied, Yeah, well, I wasn't really expecting you to meet up with anyone. I need you to keep it a secret from House Ward, though.
My subordinates, basically. It's not exactly a good look for the next head of house to be slacking off, is it?
I found myself questioning his unusually light tone, but I then noticed the faintest trace of something dark in his voice. Before, I would have been hearing names like Edward or Alfred at this point. Sensing something was off, I decided to try to dig a little deeper and cautiously questioned him. So, what's everyone up to now? I'm guessing the funeral preparations are the top priority.
Yep, you're right.
Linus gently swirled the contents of his mug, a bit unsure of what to do with himself.
I've left the funeral preparations to the others. I've been running around dealing with matters among the nobles.
Linus paused and pointed at the newspaper I held.
It's probably mentioned in there somewhere, but there's a growing divide among the nobles in Grand Albion. It's not exactly new, but the recent events brought it to the surface. Things are pretty bad now.
That's an understatement. Oh, you meant in your game in Grand Albion. I mean, in the world in general, things are pretty bad. Linus took a swig of his beer as though he were swallowing his thoughts. You mean the rift between the Royalists and Lord Edward's faction, right? The ones pushing for change? So has the unity within each household been growing stronger because of all this?
Did you see something by any chance?
Linus must have sensed something behind my question because he narrowed his eyes slightly and fixed his gaze on me. With the way he asked, I figured sharing with him might be all right. I happened to see Lord Edward and Lord Edmund in the same carriage earlier. Have the two of them been spending a lot of time together recently? Linus's amber eyes flickered slightly when he met my probing gaze. After briefly closing his eyes, Linus opened them again with a new sense of determination and stared directly at me. He's like,
"Gonna get her off Edward's dick and have her hop onto mine. Alright, got this." Like I said before, I'm acting separately from the others. Honestly, I haven't really talked to Ed much since that day. But I've seen those two at the palace together a few times, if I'm being honest. I couldn't tell what they were talking about, though.
I see. Interesting that he, kind of just was like, I don't know, I've seen them together, but I don't know what they're talking about. Because, I mean, he's probably being honest, but it's still a little shady. A dark, unsettling feeling slowly spread deep in my chest at Linus's answer, and when this came up, the screen got darker. It's like a dark, unsettling feeling, like even her vision's getting darker. Interesting. Just as I started to think that trusting Edward might have been a mistake, Linus's expression suddenly softened.
When you're unsure about something, it's good to go back to the starting point. That's what I do.
Back to the starting point?
Mm-hmm. When you do that, you can see what you really want and what you should be doing. I do that. Though to be honest, I've been more or less pushed into it.
His tone grew heavier, and Linus greatly averted his gaze as I watched him gently averted his gaze. Yeah, that makes more sense. I can't read.
I see it in my dreams, and every night that dream forces me to confront what I have to do. I had it again yesterday, but feels like what I have to do has changed.
How so? Linus returned his gaze to me and gave me a slightly troubled smile.
I'd love to tell you, but I don't think it's possible here. Where are you staying?
At a building on this street. I was curious about Edward and Linus's relationship, but I figured there was no need to ask. Interesting, where are you staying? Are you going to kidnap me? I don't know if we should tell you. It's funny, Linus is one of our love interests, but I'm still like, I don't know if I trust you. I told Linus the building's location and my room number.
Okay, thanks for telling me. I tend to be away from Rowan a lot because of all the traveling I have to do. Once things calm down, I'll come see you. There's something I want to tell you.
All right. He's going to tell us who he used to be. That he's Liam. With Edward's promise to visit still unfulfilled, it was hard to put much faith in Linus's words. He was always cheerful, but I caught a glimpse of something dark in him now and then. I wished I understood what that was. Besides, back to the starting point, huh? His comment left a lasting impression on me. A few days later, I found myself near my hometown. I didn't tell anyone I was heading to Elpeak, not John and certainly not Edward. Maybe going back to the village will help me see the path ahead. Or am I just being naive? In the end, this was the best I could do. The queen, the person most crucial to my revenge, was gone, and I had no way to reach Edward. I don't know, this feels like a bad place to be. I don't, maybe I can give up my revenge, like John and Edward said. I couldn't even guess how my feelings might change, so I moved forward without thinking. I could have sworn a nearby tree shook. It's not an animal. I think it's a person. I sharpened my senses and felt an unmistakable presence. They were likely behind the tree. It's probably Linus. Travelers wouldn't wander here without purpose. That was the very reason my family had been able to remain hidden here. I carefully drew my knife, alert and prepared. Then I spoke without hesitation. Who's there?
It's me.
Huh? I almost lost my grip on the knife when I saw the person who appeared from behind the tree. I knew it. I knew it. I knew it. Oh no, I don't trust this. There stood Linus. I had met him only a few days ago. It made no sense for him to be here. Why are you here? I kept my guard up. Linus moved closer in response, spreading his arms wide to prove that he meant no harm.
I was trying to reach out to scattered House Ward members, and I happened to be passing by. Bullshit. I guess you're not buying it. Honestly, that was just an excuse. Truth is, I've been following you.
Like, he's like, I just happened to be here. Bullshit. I was like, he's probably been stalking us. I didn't say it out loud, but I was thinking it, and then he confirmed it, so I think we were all thinking it.
Sorry. Actually, I've had my subordinates keep an eye on your movements since the day I met you by chance. I had them inform me if you were getting ready to go on a trip.
Why did you do something like that? Seeing that, I couldn't grasp his purpose. Linus's face contorted into something that looked almost painful.
I figured you'd come here. I believe that if I brought up going back to the starting point, you'd come back here for sure. And I had to meet you here in this place.
Anger welled within me, knowing it had all been planned, but I forced myself to hold back. I nodded to learn the reason behind his actions. Honestly, when he said back to the starting point, I wasn't thinking Elpeak. I'm like, how the fuck are we going to sneak back into the throne room in the castle to see what Edward and Edmund are talking about so we can have like a falling out or whatever? That's exactly where I thought it was going. And then we ended up here and I was like, oh shit, oh, okay. I mean, it makes more sense because he's like, I have to tell you something. He's going to tell us he's Liam. What are you trying to achieve? Why would you need to meet me here knowing who I really am? I like how she's still got dagger up. Like, she is like, still ready to stab. Are you telling me that you were involved in that incident 8 years ago? I glared at Linus as he stepped closer, pressing him for a decisive answer. He gave a deep sigh.
Spacey, I'm Liam. Do you remember me?
Liam. Liam. And the moment Linus called my true name, my memories surged forward like a raging river.
Hey, I like... Huh? Wait, what did you say?
So, your... Emotions swirled within me like a whirlpool, too intense to describe. In that moment, I knew my urge for revenge hadn't dulled in the slightest. It's because of you that everyone's dead. You told the queen where I was. I should have never saved you back then. I should have just watched you die. Could you imagine being a child and watching another child die? That's like psychotic. Fueled by anger, I raised my knife, but Linus grabbed my hand effortlessly. Then he gently pressed the tip of my knife against his chest for some reason.
Yes, it's my fault. You have the right to kill me. That's the very reason I came here.
Oh, and then he gives you sad eyes. Don't give me the sad eyes. So you went through all that trouble just to come here so I could kill you? My anger still burned, but confusion took over as I looked up at Linus. He's like,
I need you to kill me because you're in love with Edward and I can't stand it.
And then are we going to... That's kind of tragic. Linus's expression became even more pained.
You probably won't believe me, but this place carries both my happiest and most agonizing memories. The place that haunts my dreams every night. It's Elpeak Village, the same as yours. What happened here set the course for the rest of my life. I failed you and your family, so I had no choice but to fully give myself to my mission as a Khu Sith. That's what I thought. But you're alive, and that means I have to make things right.
Are you trying to apologize now? I don't need that. Just let me kill you. Then, as I was about to drive the knife forward in a fury, Linus spoke up.
But I can't just let you kill me. There are others you want revenge on, right?
One sentence from Linus was enough to cut through my haze of anger. Right. How could I forget? I really thought Edmund was the most likely suspect. If Linus knows what happened 8 years ago, then maybe he also knows something about the person I need to take revenge on.
All of them.
I had sort of assumed I had to wait for Edward to act. Only now, when it was far too late, did I realize that a whole new path had appeared before me. Then tell me, where were you when the Queen's forces struck this village? I kept my emotions in check as I asked. Linus closed his eyes for a moment before answering.
In this forest. I know it might seem selfish, but the weight of Kusith's mission and my guilt nearly broke me. I just couldn't go to the village. I wasn't there. I didn't see where the five houses sent or what exactly went down. But the ones who went all the way to Elpeak and actually hurt the villagers, plenty were rewards.
All right, so are you going to let me kill those people too?
I don't have a problem with that. But before that happens, let's get them to talk.
And say what?
Well, they must have seen exactly who showed up at the village.
So you're willing to sacrifice your own people and betray the five houses? I never thought I'd hear that from the next head of House Ward. This feels more like it's the clown ending, but I couldn't stop the sarcastic remark. He was betraying his family now, just like he'd betrayed me 8 years ago. Linus gave a smile so empty it almost seemed like he didn't care.
I know, right? The old me would never have acted this way. But I changed my mind.
Hearing that reminded me of what Linus had said before I got here.
I see it in my dreams, and every night that dream forces me to confront what I have to do. I had it again yesterday, but feels like what I have to do has changed.
You suddenly want to help me just because you had a change of heart? I don't believe that. Why would you go that far for me? What he said next fit neither the place nor the moment.
Because I love you? I said it 8 years ago, remember? I love you, Spacey. I can't get you out of my head, even after all this time.
Linus's smile was as bright as the sun as he confessed his feelings for me, bathed in dappled light. He looked utterly at peace.
Now that Her Majesty's no longer with us, there's no reason for me to be tied to the Kusith's duties anymore. This time I'll live for you. I'll devote everything, every part of me, to you and you alone.
Oh, we're so going to use this, boy. Linus gazed at me with an expression of sheer bliss, but I had to wonder, was it really love I saw on his face? Doubt flickered in my mind, though I couldn't say why. That wasn't what mattered to me, though. Both Edward and John want me to stop seeking revenge. He's the only person willing to help. And he's being so passionate and firm about it. Will he truly stand by me and not betray me? Edward promised to show his sincerity, but he never came to see me. If anything, it seemed like the distance between him and Edmund had shrunk. Perhaps his father really is the most important person to him, as always. Maybe Linus coming to see me before Edward was fate. I reached out my hand. If you're willing to go that far, Linus, then I'll accept you. I kept the knife aimed at Linus in my right hand, while the left touched his arm softly.
I'm more than happy to lend a hand. You can trust me. I won't betray you this time. I swear I'll be your greatest ally.
No, the problem is that I try to trust anyone at all. It hit me suddenly as I watched Linus weave his passionate words with that sparkling smile. It's because I trust others that I get hung up on them, tangled up in their games and betrayed. Oh, her eyes are so dead right now. If I want to achieve my goals, I have to use people, not trust them. It's that simple. John had always been my rock, the one I truly wanted to rely on, but he was just too kind and forgiving. If I looked at everything Edward and I shared, our chats, our memories, as burdens that clouded my judgment, I could finally push them all away. If that's the case, then prove that you won't betray me. I whispered softly, making sure my growing emotions didn't show. Linus's eyes brightened with a joyful sparkle.
Sure. Do you want to begin by questioning House Ward? If my life's on the line, they'll gladly cooperate, and I've earned their trust as the future head of the household. Besides, House Ward's committed to their mission. If I tell them that helping you aligns with that mission, everything will go smoothly.
That's reassuring, but I need definite proof. I suddenly got an idea as I watched Linus, so joyful and eager. If you're really going to give me everything, then give me all of you.
All of me?
I tugged on Linus's arms lightly. His eyes widened in surprise as I gazed into them, close enough to feel the heat. I can't quite believe that House Ward will cooperate as you suggest. However, if you're offering to make me a part of House Ward, then that's a whole different story. So this is kind of like the Edward and Linus, and it's very similar to the Lucas and Alfred one, but that one was sexy and hot, and this one's just kind of traumatizing and slightly disturbing. It's not really traumatizing, but it's like, oh, this is this is not how we want it. If a firm bond is formed between us, then I think I could come to trust you as my own family.
Well,
Linus blushed at my words. He stared at me for a long moment. Then, unable to hide the joy welling inside him, he whispered so close our noses nearly brushed.
it's a very good idea. But isn't that way too convenient for me? I love you and I want to be with you, but don't you resent me?
I do hate you, so much that it drives me mad. Even so, I think I could love you far more than I hate you. I closed my eyes as I spoke. Linus's fingertips brushed my cheek, almost shyly. I mean, I'm assuming she's proposing, you should marry me then, like, 'cause that's some fucked up stuff. He paused, then his touch moved from my cheek to my chin. When our lips gently touched, Linus's warmth seeped into me. However, that just amplified the chill I felt emanating from my heart. I can learn to like Linus as a useful tool. I was surprised to realize that I was capable of such thoughts. Slowly, it turned into a dark kind of joy. Oh no, poor Edward! We're gonna stop here and we're gonna finish this ending and maybe. I mean, we'll see. I don't know. Are you gonna take longer to finish your end? Listen, if his endings take longer, his endings take longer. Whatever. But because I know that the clown ending takes over an hour to do, and this one doesn't usually take as long. We can usually get them done within 2 hours, but I don't know. Maybe this one's longer than the clown ending in his route. We'll see what happens. But if for some reason the next part is not the end, then we have 3 hours of his endings instead of two. Whatever, it is what it is. So anyway, I will see you next time and we will continue this. Remember to give the video a big thumbs up and subscribe to see more.